A very good afternoon, Team Zimbabwe, and welcome to Africa and Beyond Television Network. Masquera say. My name is Ronald Wekwamakusha. So, Zimbabwe President Mnangagwa was told to fire the new RBZ Governor or face the law. He was accused of breaching the RBZ Act. I think it's Section 16 of the RBZ Act. And you need to take a look onto this article so that we find the basis of these demands. So we need also to take a look on the act which was cited or which is cited by these students. So UZ student leaders confronted President Mnangagwa over the Mushayavanhu appointment as RBZ boss. So this is ZimLife reporting that Zimbabwe National Students Union ZINASU co-leaders Nesbet Munyuki and Valentine Zico have written to President Mnangagwa challenging his appointment of top banker John Mushayavanhu as new Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe RBZ Governor in what they claim was an illegality. Mushayavanhu, a business associate of Mnangagwa, became the central boss on May 1, 2024, replacing John Mnangagwa, whose term had lapsed. In a letter dated 2 April 2024, Munyuki and his colleague said Mushayavanhu is a shareholder of FBC Holdings, which wholly owns FBC Bank. The two University of Zimbabwe students cited Section 16 of RBZ Act, which disqualifies shareholders of any local banking institutions from appointment as governor of the Apex Bank. And you need to take a look on the possibilities of this happening. Can President Mnangagwa reverse the removal, the appointment of Mushayavanhu based on the raised assumptions? So Section 16, it talks about disqualifications or for appointment as governor or deputy governor. And it says a person shall not be appointed as governor or deputy governor, and no person shall be qualified to hold office as governor or deputy governor if he is a director, shareholder, officer, or employee, or a member of any board or committee of any banking institution. So this is clear. The person cannot be appointed as a shareholder if he is a director, as a governor, if he is a director, shareholder, officer, or employee of any member. So this is very, very important, Team Zimbabwe. But we need to note what is the relationship between FBC Bank and Johnny Mushayavanhu. There are two entities right here, two institutions. Institution number one is FBC Holdings, which is a parent company. It deals with various issues ranging to insurance and other things. So you will see that we have the mother company called FBC Holdings. Then we have the bank itself, which is a subsidiary called FBC Bank Private Limited. So John Mushayavanhu in this case is not a direct shareholder of FBC Bank. That is something we need to note. He is not a direct shareholder of FBC Bank, but is equally not a shareholder of FBC Holdings. There is something about it. There is a company attached to John Mushayavanhu, which is a shareholder in FBC Bank. That is what we need to take a look. And there is a company called Tyrant Investments Private Limited. Tyrant Investments Private Limited is the shareholder in FBC Holdings. And the owner of Tyrant Investments, John Mushayavanhu, shares the ownership in that company. So what it means is the company itself, as a legal persona, owns shares in FBC Bank up to 7% of the shares. So if you go onto the laws, it will be difficult for this case to be won, because a tyrant investment is a legal persona on its own. John Mushayavanhu does not own shares directly in FBC Holdings. He owns the shares through a company. Secondly, FBC Tyrant Investments does not own shares in FBC Bank. It owns shares in FBC Holdings, which means this will be a very long journey. I don't see President Emmerson Mnangagwa reversing this appointment. This is my own opinion, my own view, given that there are several legal loopholes which these people can hide behind, and they can successfully challenge any law action. They can defend themselves and probably win. So this is the view. So this is what is happening. We'll continue to watch and see if these young people are going to win. However, we need to note that personally, I am of the view that 7% cannot influence any directive or any direction of FBC Bank, because he was influential when he was at the helm of FBC Bank. But somebody else is now at the helm of FBC Bank. What it means is he will not have influence over the affairs of the bank. The bank does have its own policies, its own programs, and the FBC Holdings, as the parent company, does have its own leadership structure as well. So it will be very difficult for him through Tyrant Investments to have any influence over these institutions. This is my own view. It's something very difficult to deal with, because FBC Holdings is a company on its own. FBC Bank is also a company on its own, although there is a parent and a subsidiary. So that is the relationship which is there. And also, as I noted, that John Mushayavanhu does not own the shares directly. He owns those shares through Tyrant Investments. And also, we will need to ascertain and establish who are the shareholders of Tyrant Investments. It will be very difficult to have a case at law when also John Mushayavanhu does not have critical influence in Tyrant Investments. So it is what it is. One way or the other, you will see that somebody might have shares in a company which is dealing with meat, but that company dealing with meat will have shares or interest in another company dealing with banking, and it will be difficult for us to say, can we not appoint this person on that basis? Because all these people who worked in the past, especially those who worked at banking institutions, somehow they acquired shares, several shares in different companies, and because of the business structure in Zimbabwe, there is a possibility that these people would own shares in other institutions affiliated or attached to other institutions. In this case, my own view is that I don't believe that John Mushayavanhu will act otherwise to benefit FBC Bank more than anything else. What we need at this juncture, at this moment in time, are the policies which are going to be pro-people. We can fight John Mushayavanhu, but as long as we don't address the elephant in the room, the elephant in the room is not John Mushayavanhu. The elephant in the room is the control of institutions by ZANU-PF. Running of institutions from Shek building. We have a treasury department sitting at Shek building, deciding policies for RBZ, deciding policies for the Ministry of Finance. That is the problem which we have. All those people who are the faces of the ministries and the RBZ, they are useless. Why? It's because there are people who call the shots. There are people who make decisions. You cannot talk of a decision which is going to be made in the Politburo, and as the governor, you'll be told to implement such a decision made within the Politburo. These are people with their own interests seated at the Politburo. They create and draft a policy and they give you to say implement it, and you don't have an option because you're an appointee. That is the challenge we have. We need independence of these state institutions. We need these institutions to be very, very 100% independent, such that they can deliver their mandate without fear, favor, prejudice, and without compromise. That is what we need. So I believe that we are using this as a way of trying to disturb what is there, but we are not going to achieve what we intend to achieve. It's best that we focus on the policies which are being launched by the governor. Recently, he launched a policy. This is a currency which has been launched called ZIG. How best can we make the governor account for the policy which he presented, so that the people of Zimbabwe don't continue to lose? The more we fight on issues we are not likely to win, the more we lose as a people, the more we lose as the people. You know, I once cited when a legal challenge was being brought forward against the bond notes. I once said it's not wise to fight the introduction of the bond note. It's wise to fight for for the legal parts which are going to be helpful. The introduction of the bond note is with 1:1. It was supposed to be supported by an exit policy. If we had fought for an exit policy, the people of Zimbabwe would have not lost their money. The bank itself would have dumped the bond note because their strategy was to loot and steal. So if we had fought in the corner of the exit policy, what policy are you going to put in place when you are exiting the era of the bond notes? And maybe you suggested to have your own currency. That is what we were supposed to deal with, but we failed on that note because the people who were fighting in that corner felt that it was not necessary to fight in such a way. They felt that it was necessary to stop it altogether, and we lost. We failed to stop it, and we ended up having that bond note coming without an exit policy which was going to protect the people of Zimbabwe. Even in parliament, it was not debated along those lines. Those are the problems which we have. We need to approach things differently when we need to have positive outcomes. Let us approach things as they are and ask questions. You have introduced this policy. If it fails, how are you going to make sure that the people's money which is in USD is protected? That was very important for the people of Zimbabwe to note, which means we were supposed to have separate accounts. Whenever we wanted to have any other currency, we were supposed to have a separate accounts. You it is what it is. We'll continue to watch and see how this is going to end. The system, remove the system.